Hello YouTube, this is Mahadeva the thunderwizard. Today in this video I want to talk to you about the upcoming full moon on June 3rd, which will be in Scorpio. It's going to bring intense emotional awakening. Bear in mind again, this is Vedic astrology, not Western astrology. Western astrology uses, well, at least the tropical zodiac of Western astrology is inaccurate. It's an inaccurate calculation of the sky. If you like Western astrology, great. Just do the accurate calculation of the sky, which is called the sidereal zodiac. So Vedic astrology uses the sidereal zodiac, which is the actual measurement of the sky as it is hitting Earth. Western astrology that uses tropical zodiac is off by 24 degrees. Sorry if you don't like that. That's just the way that it is. I didn't make it up. Don't get mad at me. So, June 3rd, we are going to have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio. And it's going to bring massive emotional awakening. So we've got some other things that are going on as well. So let me just give you a tiny little background on what has been leading up to this. Bear in mind, as you know, if you've been watching my channel, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. We are in the midst of a series of solar storms having to do with the solar maximum of the sun, and those solar storms are continuing to hit Earth and continuing to shift us, kind of vibrate us out of our normal lower vibrational 3D, which is causing a lot of intensity, a lot of ups and downs in a lot of different ways. We have had Jupiter. Jupiter has come out of deep meditation in Pisces after having gone through the whole zodiac, and now Jupiter has moved into Aries and has the fire of Mars underneath him, and he is seeking to really bring awareness, healing, and truth. And we just recently had Rahu, which is the north node of the moon, which has to do with secrets, obsessions, all the things that we would associate with the negative aspects of the mindset of lower three dimensions, as well as the positive aspects of revealing hidden occult power, knowledge, and secrets. And these two planets have just passed over each other. So they were conjunct, and they've now begun moving apart. They're still technically conjunct, which means you still have that power going on, which is that Rahu, the north node of the moon, acts like this giant portal to whatever planet he's associated with. So when you have Jupiter, which is the priest, the bringer of healing, the bringer of knowledge, the philosopher, the truth giver, the healer, when that gets passed right in front of Rahu, then this portal opens up, and Jupiter and Rahu work together to reveal the secrets, the hidden secrets of those who are seeking to bring the lowest aspect of 3D. The Hopi people would call them the dark force people. We might call them the elites. You can call them whatever you want. So this portal has just been opened, and now Rahu and Jupiter are beginning to move apart, which means that Jupiter is going to begin doing his work of revealing all of the secrets that Rahu has revealed to him. And then now, on June 3rd, we have this very intense full moon in Scorpio. Why is this intense? Well, full moon in Scorpio is already intense because Scorpio is the water sign of Mars. So as you know, Mars is the warrior and Mars is fire. But Scorpio is a water sign. And when you've got Scorpio, what's really going on is you've got the deep, boiling undercurrent of emotions. And if you've ever gotten involved with a Scorpio, you know that as long as you are bringing deep emotional connection, they're very happy. But the moment that they think that you're not giving yourself to them on an emotional level, that stinger comes out and they attack. So Scorpio is very intense, and it has to do with deep unconscious emotional aspects. So we've already got that. That makes things intense. Moon is the emotions. It is the reflective mind, not the intellect. That's Mercury. The reflective mind, the meditative mind, and the emotions, the intuition. This comes into any water sign, whether it's Scorpio or Cancer. You've got intense emotions, but it's in that sign of Mars, and so it brings out this intensity, this emotional intensity. So by itself, just the full moon in Scorpio could bring a lot of intense emotion, a lot of people losing their temper, a lot of people, you might find yourself getting angry, getting depressed, whatever your deep emotional, unconscious, unresolved issues are, those will get stimulated. The desire to go deep emotionally, the desire to meditate and bring about deep, hidden, occult secrets, practices. This is what happens when the moon enters into that water sign of Mars, which is Scorpio. But if that weren't enough, Mars itself, which is the Lord of Scorpio, so bear in mind, when any planet comes into the sign of Scorpio, Mars is shining down through that sign. So Mars is already involved in this, as I've clearly overstated. But what we also have going on is we have Mars in the sign of the moon, which is Cancer. So what does that mean? The moon, which is the Lord of Cancer, is in a Mars sign, and Mars is in Cancer, which is lorded by the moon. So where Mars has been cranky for a little while, ever since Mars got into Cancer recently. And so, Mars is a fiery planet, and Mars likes to express itself, go out, fight wars, battle against negativity, its intensity, its drive. Mars wants to take action, wants to do things. And so what has happened is Mars fell into a big giant pool of water, and there's steam coming out of it. So it's almost like when you have Mars in Cancer, it's almost like the sign of Scorpio. So you have Mars in water, and he's unable to move. He's thrashing around, and he can't, you know what it's like when you're waist high in water and you're trying to walk through it. You can't really get very far very fast. So it's all that water is trying to put out his fire. And so that can create a lot of cranky emotions, especially depending on where you have Mars in your chart. Mars is extremely prominent in my chart. So I've been cranky, I've been tired, I've been having all kinds of unpleasant feelings. I've had to make sure that I don't injure myself, because that's what happens when Mars is unhappy like that. Mars also represents accidents and injuries. That kind of thing. So I've had to be careful of that. So what you have going on now, the full moon is going to be entering into the sign of Scorpio, and Mars is already cranky because he's in the sign of Cancer, and his watery Cancer, angry, cranky energy is going to be shining down on the moon that's already in a potentially cranky sign, which is the water sign of Scorpio. So we get it here. There's a lot of emotion. Water represents emotion, and the moon is the conduit of our emotions. So this is what we're going to see here. Now we've got all of that going on while we've had all of these other things going on. Jupiter coming out of Pisces into Aries, all of the things we've been talking about, what that means, why that's so significant, the conjunction of Rahu and Jupiter in the sign of Aries, and Now we've got all of that going on. So all of these doors have been opened. And what has been happening already through the month of May is that there has been the lead up to, basically the locks for all of the hidden information that's been hidden from you, all of the lies. The locks have been opened. So throughout the month of May, because of all the things that I've just discussed, all of the locks have been opened. And now as we go into June, this full moon is somebody's going to come along and fling those doors wide open. I'm going to put a link in the description here for Dr. Stephen Greer's YouTube channel, a specific video. And keep your eyes open, because in June there's going to be some press press releases where he is going to have whistleblowers from the deep state, military and otherwise, who are going to reveal the truth about the unacknowledged black ops military space program. And you're going to start to find out a lot of things about what you thought were UFOs really weren't UFOs. And it goes much, much deeper than that. I'm not going to talk about it because it's too spicy for YouTube. But you can go watch his videos and keep your eyes peeled this month, because this is what's going to happen this month. This month in June, my prediction, I'm happy if I turn out to be wrong about this, but I'm not alone in this. My prediction is that this June, the secrets are going to come spilling out, that more and more people are going to become completely aware of the depths to which they have been lied to, manipulated, and abused by the powers that be. We're going to see a lot of issues. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a complete, economic monetary collapse. It wouldn't surprise me if there are even more problems having to do with, the war in Ukraine, the connection of the United States to, that whole conflict. Russia and China, they're potentially coming together, and just the whole narrative is gonna come crashing down even more than it already has. And so when we have this full moon is going to bring out a lot of emotions. So I don't know what that's going to mean. My hope is that it will bring an emotional awakening, because in order to accept the reality of the world that we have been given, once you become aware, if you like I was just a couple of years ago, I was pretty much, even though I was a spiritual teacher, I was pretty much fully connected to the narrative. And over the past couple of years, that narrative has completely been destroyed for me, brought out a lot of intense feelings for me. So I think that this moon is going to be like that for some people. So be aware of that. The way to make use of this is to really focus on your spiritual practice. Do your energy work. If you have a mantra ritual, you can do that. If you want to get a mantra ritual and you don't have one, you can go to astrology.thunderwizard.com. I have other astrologers that I have taught them my method. They've also learned some other things on their own, and you can get readings from them if you want. But during this time, I recommend everybody do their spiritual practice every day, no matter what. But if you don't have one, now is the time to do that. If you have any access to, and this is, again, if you know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing, talk to an astrologer. But if you're familiar with mantra and you have access to Jupiter mantras, I've given out a couple on the channel. You can be chanting to Jupiter, because we really want Jupiter's wisdom, Jupiter's healing to come into this. And so while the moon is having some issues, Jupiter is very powerful. And, Jupiter, Mars, and Moon are all friends in Vedic astrology. So if you chant to Jupiter, you'll be helping to align all of these different energies. You may feel a lot of emotions. You might feel angry. You might feel frustrated. Frustrated is probably a good understanding of all this. You might feel like you can't really get things done. You might feel like you're kind of going backwards. If you were feeling good and positive, you might feel yourself going backwards a little bit. You might have some negative feelings like depression and lack of confidence, and that's because Mars is struggling. He's wading through the water and he's not able to do what he wants to do. And so that Mars and emotions, it creates Mars type of emotions. So there you go. There's my take for this. Bear in mind, again, this channel is about doing the work. It's not just about listening to me talk. I have a few things available for you. Go up here to thunderwizard.com and subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. All you have to do is press play and just simply do the practices. You don't have to think about it. It's incredibly inexpensive, and if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe at any time. You've got nothing to lose. Courses.thunderwizard.com, all of my books, all of my teachings, all of my services. And if you want to find where my books are, one of my latest ones, Interdimensional Revolution, you can find all of my books on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. Okay? That's where my books are. And if you want to see them all in one place, you see my name written right here, Michael William Denny. Just add a .com, and then you'll see all of my books, and you can pick from those. I strongly recommend Interdimensional Revolution and Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth. And of course, if you're not familiar with the Interdimensional Meditation course, you can follow some of the guided, free interdimensional meditations I have on the channel. And if you want some that have some special little tips and tricks that I do, you can find that at the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. So that's it, my friends. Keep your eyes peeled. Full moon in Scorpio, June 3rd. Massive emotional awakening. And this is going to really, we might really see this whole solar wave, energy that's been hitting us and will continue to hit us. We might see a really big leap forward in worldwide consciousness as a result of that. And these astrological alignments, I believe, are going to be representative of that. So let's hope so. Let's keep our minds going towards an emotional awakening, as opposed to maybe an emotional breakdown. And let us keep our minds focused on creating that higher dimensional earth that we want to live in. Remember, when we have made the decision to shift up, we will. And I think it's something like 1%. Once we get 1% of the population focused on creating that heaven on earth, we will shift up. The entire earth and the population of earth who want to go there will shift up to this new higher vibrational 3-dimensional earth. So 5D earth, sorry. All right, that's it for me, guys. I wish you all the best, and I will see you all very soon.